Hi, my name is Nancy Davenport, and today we are going to talk about rocks. This is a second grade science lesson, and specifically we're going to talk about what the earth is made of, and this is my presentation. Obviously this would be on a PowerPoint in the front of the class, and these are my students. So I'm going to do the best I can here. I would ask the students, what is the earth made of? They probably would answer that it's made of land and water, which is what they have learned. I would explain to him that under the water is land, and what is the land made of? So students, what is the land made of? I would hope one of them would raise their hand and say, Mrs. Davenport, the land is made of rocks. I could say, yes, they are correct, and on my PowerPoint, this will come up. These are the different kinds of rocks that we would be discussing today. We have boulders, pebbles, dirt, small rock, sand, and mountains, and we would be discussing their various shapes and sizes. For my lesson, I did bring in Tupperwares of some of the rocks that we'll be discussing. This one is dirt. I would pass these out to the students, and I would remind the students of the correct way to pass, that they could open the container, look at what's inside, be careful not to spill it, put the cover back on. When everybody in the cluster has seen the same item, this one is pebbles, the last person to see it would raise the container in the air. I would make eye contact with them, they could put the container down, and I would come over, collect the container, and move it on to the next cluster. Last one that we have here is rocks. Obviously we couldn't put boulders and mountains into containers. As the students were looking, I would explain to them, which is kind of, this isn't part of the lesson, but I think it's good for vocabulary. It would be good vocabulary for ESOL students also, so that they know what these definitions are. These are everyday items. So I would explain that dirt, which is the top layer of the Earth's surface consisting of rock and mineral particles. The sand is a loose granular. It looks like sugar or salt. Material that results from the disintegration of rock. So once a rock is made, it gets disintegrated and then it becomes sand. Pebbles are small, visually round stones, especially worn by water, which is important. You'd find it near lakes and streams. Rock is a consolidated mass of stony material and minerals. Boulder, be a mass of rock usually detached and rounded. And a mountain is a landmass that projects above its surroundings. So, as the students would be looking at these, I would ask who would have the smallest one, and the student who had dirt would hold up the dirt one. I would ask how they would know that it was the smallest, and the answer I would be looking for is because they can visually see that it's smallest. We're not going to be measuring. These would all be visuals, that they can see which ones are the smallest just by looking at them. As we went around the room and discussed these things, I would ask if they had any questions about where they think that the rocks came from. Once they were done looking at them, I would ask them to take out their science notebook, open to a blank page, and then list the rocks in the size that they come in. So this would then be on the PowerPoint. We say the types of rocks, I'd have 6 of them listed, and ask them to put them in the order from the smallest to the largest. Again, with the ESOL kids in the class, we could discuss what smallest and largest is. After they were done putting them in order, I would ask them to talk to their shoulder buddy and see if they had the same list. While they were doing this, I would go through and put the assessment under each of their pencil boxes. As this goes under their pencil box, they know it's upside down. They know not to touch it until I say so. That saves a lot of time in the classroom of passing things out and collecting papers and things like that. So after they get into their groups, they discuss with their shoulder partners, I would put up on the wall something like this, and we would list them: dirt, sand, pebbles, small rock, boulders, and mountains. And that would be the order that they would go in. After we discussed them, this would be the third time, so they should know it by now. that I would ask them to put their notebooks away, look under their pencil box, and to take out the assessment. While they have the assessment on, for little extra fun, I would ask them what a petrologist is. And that is a person that studies petrology, which is the study of classification, location, composition, structure, and origin of rocks. I would ask them how they know that it's a person that studies, and they would know that because of the ist at the end of petrologist. Once they are done with their assessment, I would ask them to take out their Just Right book and to do some independent reading quietly while other students finish. And when they were all done, I would go and collect the assessments. So that is how my classroom would work. Thank you.